Hi, good evening, and welcome to the Jon Gaunt Show. I make no apology talking about Keir Starmer again, because now that idiot is saying he's ready to defend Ukraine's borders, even if it means sending our young men, your boys and girls, my boys and girls, to war. But when it comes to defending British victims of grooming gangs, or even stopping thousands of these undocumented fighting age men landing on the beaches of Dover, he's silent. Why? This is a man who can't even protect our country, let alone the rest of Europe. Why are people taking him seriously? He still refuses a public inquiry into one of the worst sex scandals in modern British history. Yes, I'm talking about the grooming gangs up north and those victim stroke survivors who have still not got any closure, if you want to use that horrible term. Starmer, he's not just weak, he's gutless. He's gutless. Starmer is silent, gutless, but most of all, he's blooming dangerous to our future. And in this video, I shall show you why. So he's ready to defend Ukraine's borders. If you want to comment, the comment box is open. If you like what I'm saying, press the like button. If you don't, press the dislike. It's okay by me. It's all interaction. My name's Jon Gaunt. I do these broadcasts every day, Monday to Thursday. I do them at 6:30. You can then watch them on repeat. Anyway, back to him. He says he's willing to put boots on the ground, which means your kids coming back and landing on the ground at Buries Norton, just down the road from where I am at the moment, in body bags. Yes, they'd go there as the defence force, but how long before we would start fighting? Thousands of these illegal migrants are getting in at Dover. They're all illegal, don't forget, because they haven't claimed asylum. They are mostly fighting age men. And he says nothing, or he does nothing. I'm going to smash the gangs. You couldn't smash an avocado, as I've been saying for weeks. And I was glad to see today that an old friend of mine used exactly that phrase. Don't worry, Nana, I'll send you the invoice. So why is he brave? This is the question. What is it about Starmer? Why is he brave about Ukraine, but completely gutless when it comes to protecting our children, our little girls, from being raped and the British borders? In this video, I'll expose a Prime Minister who's silent where it matters, gutless when it counts, and completely dangerous for this great country's future. Starmer, silent, gutless, and dangerous. Do you agree, or am I over the top? Let me know in the comments, please, and then I'll come to your views. It's essential we talk about this. I know I spoke about him last night, but the more I think about him, the worse it gets. The absolute worse it gets. I cannot believe the man. And I'll tell you what's going on. There's an election tomorrow. And he doesn't want to give an inquiry before then, in case it comes out that certain councillors, certain councils, certain newspapers who back him were involved in the cover-up. It's always the cover-up that gets them. That's what happened at the White House with Watergate. It's going to happen again here. It's now gone beyond the fact that he's a moron and he speaks like a robot and he has suits off Lord Ali. He now wants to put you, your daughters, your wives, your girlfriends, your children in the front line. Either in the front line in the Ukraine to spill their blood for a country they'd never, ever going to go to. We've done enough for Ukraine, by the way. Or being raped on the streets of Britain. Because don't think it's not still going on. It is. He was head of the Crown Prosecution Service. He knows exactly how deep this sex scandal goes. He even said that today in Prime Minister's Questions when Kemi was battering him. And he said, I don't need lectures on this. I'm the one who did this when I was the boss of the Crown Prosecution Service. Then she had a great line where she says, well, you're not now the boss. You're now the Prime Minister. So we're asking you, give us an inquiry. And he kept avoiding it. Why is he doing that? There's got to be a reason. It's because he knows how deep it goes. And even now as a Prime Minister, he won't open the books. He won't give those girls the satisfaction of the monsters who not only raped them and abused them, but also the people who turned a blind eye. This goes to the heart, I'm sure, of the establishment of most cities in the country and most Labour-controlled cities. This is politics. This is sacrificing the life of young girls on the altar of political expediency. It disgusts me. He won't let the public see the full truth. Why? What's he afraid of? Here's the questions we've got to find out. If you've got any answers, let me know. Victims across this country, I prefer to call them survivors, from Rotherham to Telford to Rochdale to Coventry, but not in London, according to CD Khan, still have no closure. They're still waiting for full justice. And the one man in power who could finally give them answers refuses to act. And he's not going to act this week. I bet you next week he'll say something. He's not going to act this week because Nigel Farage is breathing down his neck. Farage is going to win the most council seats. He's probably going to win the Runcorn by-election. And then the floodgates are open. So he's absolutely scared fritless. I said fritless, right? What do you reckon? He's the one man who could give them answers. He's refusing to act. Now then, a prime minister who won't protect our children, but also wants to send them off to fight in someone else's war, that's not leadership. That's moral failure. Did you hear what I said? It's not leadership. It's moral failure. Are you with me or against me? Now let's talk about our borders. Dover is the biggest joke. It doesn't need the end of a peer show. It's turned into a farce. A tragedy, in fact, a tragicomedy. All those people coming in, not documented, now making videos on the boats, not even waiting to get to their 4-star hotels to take the P1SS out of all us British taxpayers, costing us a fortune. Now, our Prime Minister wants to reward them by giving them houses, putting them to the top of the housing list. I don't even think it's Border Force's fault because the people in charge won't let them enforce anything. Just like the coppers. You can't blame the coppers when things kick off. They're told by the Rainbow Lace Brigade, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. What about their human rights? What about the human rights of the vast, decent, silent majority who've paid their taxes? What about the human rights of those poor girls? What about the human rights of the family who've been on the housing list for years? What about the human rights of our heroes now living on the street, often with post-traumatic stress disorder? Who's looking after their human rights? Mr. Ex-Director of the Public Prosecutions. Not you, because the very same organisation you used to be the head of now wants to put the SAS in the dock. You make me sick. Day after day, it gets worse. 460 yesterday. We're heading for that again today. It's been a gorgeous day today. I burnt my face. But it's a great day for breaking into Britain. No ID, no documentation. Almost all of them are young, fighting age men. And where is our supreme leader, Starmer? He's silent. Silent. He's got no serious plan. He's just got a soundbite. Just like Rishi before him. We're going to smash the gangs. Oh, yeah. How are you going to do that? Like today, they're going to stop fly tipping. How are you going to do that? We're going to smash the gangs. It's so pathetic. It's hard to get too worked up about it. He's just got woke slogans and bureaucratic delays. We've left Europe. There's no reason we have to be in the ECHR. The two aren't directly connected. Let's leave it. Or let's just say, up yours. We're not abiding by it anymore. And the British people are not stupid. They can see what's happening. It's not just me. You can see it. They know that while Starmer wants to defend Ukraine's borders with our tanks, he's already given them a load of tanks, he can't even defend Britain's borders with a decent rubber dinghy policy. Here they're in a rubber dinghy. We'd be better off putting those cartoon characters in charge. They might have an idea how to stop it, but it's no laughing matter. It's shameful what Starmer is letting happen in our name. Do you agree? Put a comment up. I'm coming to them very soon. Now, let me be absolutely clear. No one wants to see Ukraine lose to Putin, but the reality is they've already lost. And if people were that concerned, they should have done something when he took Crimea, shouldn't they? But it doesn't mean, no matter what our mistakes have been, that we've got to hand over our young men and our young women nowadays to fight a war, even if they are going as a defence force. You know they'll end up fighting, and you know a considerable amount will come back to Bryce Norton. I see the transport planes coming in every night when I'm at Rosie's. Massive planes. They fly all night. Imagine how busy they'll be. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see one coffin draped in the Union flag. Not one. Are you with me or against me? This is the Jon Gaunt podcast. If you like it, please press the like button. If you want to support it, very simple as well. You can go to www.buymeacoffee.com and donate or buy a beer. You donate a £5. It's a £5 a time. Most people donate 15 quid, but you can donate whatever you want. Some people are incredibly generous and donate 100 or something. That's fantastic. Whatever, though, it all counts. It helps me keep these going. Alternatively, you can gift something today on YouTube as you're watching. Whichever way you want to do it, please support complete independent podcasting and broadcasting. I'm saying things because I've got no boss looking through the window at me like they used to at BBC London. I only had to mention the M word and they were all there. Morons. No, that wasn't the M word. It was the other M word. But you understand where I'm coming from. Right, let's get back. He's so keen to flex his muscles, isn't he? When it earns him praise from Washington or Brussels. He loves all that. What did he call it? The coalition of the useless. But leadership, real leadership, has to start at home. It isn't about impressing foreign powers. It's about protecting your own people. What's the first duty of any government? The protection of its own citizens. How has he protected the girls in those towns? How's he protecting them now with the trauma? How's he protecting the children who've been born through those gross acts? And then when it comes to Ukraine, is he sending his own son, you know, the one who's been doing his A-levels, tell him to get out of Lord Ali's flat and get signed up? If you're that keen, here, send your lad first. Would you send yours? Would you advise your child to fight Starmer's phony wars? If my kids were fighting age, I certainly would not. And while he prepares for escalation, and it's as if he almost wants it, otherwise he would have worked with Trump. Why did he do that to Trump? Why is he still doing that with his meetings with useless van der Leyen, from the EC? Why is he still doing it? The British public do not want to be in the EU. We had a vote. What are you doing? And then he can't even bring himself to admit that we've got a border crisis almost as bad as Putin in Ukraine on our own border in Kent. Or that we've got a justice crisis in the northern towns. Sheer hypocrisy at its worst. This is the Jon Gaunt podcast. Please tell all your friends about it. The last few days, the numbers have gone through the roof. Please help out to make it keep going. Let's move on to why he's gutless, because I've called this Starmer silent, gutless, and dangerous. He's gutless because he is a man who is more afraid of a headline in The Guardian than of a grooming gang destroying lives in his own country. Listen to that again. More afraid of a nasty headline in The Guardian or The Sun than of grooming gangs destroying young girls' lives in his own country. Is that too harsh or is that right? I know how these people work. Ever since Alistair Campbell was in charge of the press office at Number 10, they've been fricked, absolutely petrified about what especially the tabloids would say. And now it's moved on from the tabloids because most of mainstream media is dead. So now it's moved on, of course, to what's going to be said on the internet. And it can be instantaneous. You can't be a leader and always be popular. Speak to Winston Churchill. Speak to Mrs. Thatcher. Why he won't touch anything controversial. I said yesterday, he's like a middle-ranking civil servant or council officer who's just about to lose their jobs when Farage takes over all the town halls. For God's sake, get out there and vote if you've got to vote. If you're not living in one of the districts where Starmer has postponed voting, he won't touch anything controversial. He won't confront hard truths. He won't stand up for British victims, but he will rush to stand up for Ukraine and Zelensky. That's not courage, my friends. That is pure cowardice, wrapped in a globalist theatre wrapping. I'll repeat that in case you want to use it later, Nana. That's not courage. That's cowardice, wrapped in globalist theatre. Let's move on to Farage. All you people are coming through. Thank you. I'll be with you in a few minutes, and then we'll have a wide-ranging debate. And thank you to everyone who's pressed the like buttons. Superb stuff. Keep it up. I'd like to be saying thank you for all the people who've made some donations on YouTube already, but I don't see any of them yet, so have a think. Right, Nigel Farage, on the other hand, just been watching him on the telly, actually, whether you like him or not, has made his stance crystal clear on all of these subjects. He's promised a full public inquiry into the grooming gang scandal on day one of being Prime Minister. Day one. He's pledged real border control, real accountability, and a Britain-first approach, a bit like Trump. I've just heard him on GB News. He said, basically to Christopher Hope, the first thing we're going to do with the councils is we're going to do an audit of every single council that we control and get rid of people who haven't got a proper job. Well done. That's what we want. I don't want to be phoning Coventry. Well, we haven't got a vote here, but Coventry City Council, I told you, I phoned him up and said, will you take away this old double bed for me? Oh, no, not if it's a divan. That's 3 pieces. Oh, no, we don't take the mattress. You'll have to take it to the dump. I said, I haven't got a car. That's why I'm asking you to do it. Anyway, long and short of it, they'd prefer if I fly tipped it. And then they still wanted to charge me well, not me. My mother-in-law, a pensioner, wanted to charge her £14.50. The computer says no. I've had enough of this. Have you? So I just hope tomorrow he does it. Jackie Ward says, but we don't have a vote tomorrow. Well, nor do I, Jackie. That's because he cancelled a load of the votes on some half-cocked reason. He's gerrymandering. Why do you think he wants all these people to come and live here? Why do you think he wants to put the voting age down to 16? He wants to do that because most kids vote left, don't they? Although you can hardly call him left-wing, but you follow where I'm coming from. It's a joke. He's gerrymandering. He's trying to get in and be in power forever. We've got to get him out. He pledged real border control, real accountability, and a Britain-first approach. This is Nigel, not Starmer. Compare that to Starmer, though, who's hiding, hedging, hoping no one notices. Britain is crying out for leadership, And we're stuck with a prime minister who looks and acts like a mid-level civil servant. He's not a man of conviction. He's got a few MPs who have had convictions, but that's another matter. That's why there's the by-election tomorrow. So it isn't about politics anymore. It's about principle. And that's why I've come back to Starmer today. Do you want a prime minister who talks tough to Russia, but cowers when facing the truth at home? A man who stays silent whilst white girls suffer, why borders collapse, he doesn't say a word, and why, this is the big one, our national identity is being eroded day by day. It's almost a crime to be British now and wrap yourself in the flag, isn't it? Or do you want someone who will put Britain first? If you're as sick of all this as I am, hit the subscribe button right now and the like button. Share my video when I finish, or the podcast. Tell other people about it. Get on social media and say, you want to listen to this Gaunty? I don't agree with everything he says, but blimey, he's saying things that other people are too scared to say. And I can do that because I'm independent. Write a comment below the videos. That all helps. And I read every one of them because I'm interested in what you've got to say. Let's make sure Starmer's silence doesn't go unchallenged. Because, let me tell you, my friends, silence in the face of a crisis or crises is complicity. And that's why he doesn't want a public inquiry where we can demand people come forward and give witness statements. He doesn't want that. Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Remember Jess Phillips? Oh, yeah, the Minister for Women, or whatever she is. She only won by 600 votes. Why? She was up against a separatist candidate. And that's going to happen all over the country. It'll start with councils. It's already started with councils. Then it'll move into the mainstream. We're at a dangerous juncture. Every vote should be equal. Every person should be equal, regard of their race or creed or colour of skin. That's the kind of Britain I want to live in. How about you? Right, that's me done. Let's get over and now chat and talk and find out what you think. Well, Ronnie Hurst says, this man could not get anyone to fight for him that isn't already in the army. Yep, I think you might be right there. Dark Angel says, good evening, John. Starmer is terrible. I've got to the stage where I can't even look at him. That's on YouTube. Be careful, John. Starmer will try and get you locked up for telling the truth. Well, yeah, I do worry about that. I do. Seriously, I've never worried about it before. I mean, I've had my brushes, as you know, with Ofcom, and they can do one. But I do worry the stormtroopers will be around. First thing I'd do is switch on my phone and nod to Lisa and get her to switch hers on as well, to either audio record it or video record it. I'm not going to be intimidated by him. I know the law. A robust criticism. Are you going to lock me up for that? You're going to lock me up for calling you a cretin? You're going to lock me up for saying you've got no personality? You're going to lock me up for saying you've got no backbone, Starmer? How about me saying, Starmer, silent, gutless, and dangerous? That's what I think. It's my honestly held opinion. Free the Gaunty one. Can you imagine it? It'll be a cracker, won't it? You better contribute now. Mick, Frinton on Sea. Starmer's the worst PM in history. He is. I'd rather have Liz Truss. Oh, come on now. Don't get carried away. That's one thing I don't like about Nigel. He's talking about bringing her back. It'd be better if he brought back the lettuce, wouldn't it? He is the enemy within. Some 50 cities have had grooming gangs, and it's probably still going on. Well, let me just correct there. It's more than 50 cities. And it isn't probably still going on. It is still going on. And it has been going on for years and years, Mick. He also says, I hope Reform win 500 council seats. And I reckon they could do. So do I, Mick. I would walk 500 miles. And that's one of my favourite ever songs, the Proclaimers. It's funny how certain words just kick you off, don't they? Tracy Gaunt. Are you related to me, Tracy? With my surname? She says it's terrible, John. Yes, it is. Lisa Eddington says, thankfully, my youngest is flat-footed, so she won't be fighting for hair Starmer. I should think a lot of people are going to develop awfully bad feet or awfully bad reasons why they can't. I mean, it's only like an asylum seeker, an illegal migrant, and they say, well, I can't go back to Jamaica because I'm gay. Hang on, you've just raped 3 women. Yeah, but I'm gay. And they persecute gay people. What was the other one? We couldn't set somebody back because they got a right to a family life. He's ruined somebody else's family, but he's got a right to a family life here. Up yours. This is where we've got to get tough. There's a terrible joke about profits going through the roof. Laugh out loud, says Craig Urquhart. Is there? Did I say profits going through the roof? I don't think I did. I said the audience is going through the roof. But you're right. It's a kind of joke, isn't it? Playing on F and PH. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fraser Ford has put a thumb up. Thank you. Craig Urquhart says Oliver Twist. I don't even know what that means. I want peace without supply bombs for money, says Fraser Ford. You're an idealist, are you, Fraser? Huh? What about our defence industry? What do you want to see happen to that? What do those people do? Go and make white poppies? Would you worry with free speech in Trump land, John? Says Craig Urquhart. No, I don't think so. It's not Trump land, is it? It's America. America's got freedom of expression enshrined in their constitution. We haven't, because the knobs in charge don't want us to have a view. That's what Starmer represents. Tracy says, I heard a lot of our soldiers are leaving the military. I don't know about that. Evidently, according to Mick, there's 226,500 Reform Party members. Do you reckon? Years ago, we had an average of 2 kids per family, says Nigel. Now in a this is Nigel, who's the tin pot racist. Now in a multi-race society, these families have 4, 5, 6 kids, so they will take over. We are a dying race as white English. So what are you saying? Shag for England? Is that what you're saying? Shag the living daylights out of each other for Harry, for England. The point is, you're right. Our birth rate is declining, which is why we need immigrants from all over the place. But you'd want to put a racist twist on it. Why do you do that? I don't understand that. I agree we should clamp down on people who come here and never work, never contribute, whatever colour skin, whatever religion. I'm with you there. Why do you turn it into this? Why do you always have to turn it into racism? Are you thick and moronic, Nigel? I just don't understand it. I don't understand why you do it. Have you not got any black or Asian friends? Have you never met any? Fraser Ford, watching Euler's camera go down gives me hope for the future. Oh, yeah, the revolution's going to start by taking down traffic cameras. You want more, John? Bless you, says Craig Urquhart. I don't know what that means. Gaunts are earth warriors. Ace coat of arms, John. I don't know what you're on about. Tracy, are you related? Do you know me? Are you related? I don't think you are. I don't know you, but maybe. It's a big family, the Gaunt family. I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to stop there because I think basically I've exhausted you all tonight with my manifesto on Starmer. Do you agree with that, though? Let's keep this debate going. Let's move it on from just trying to turn it into racism, or just that, Farage is going to solve everything, or Rupert Lowe is the future. It's not. It's not. Much more complicated. But we've got to get rid of Starmer. So anybody who's saying, I had somebody today on Twitter saying, I'm not voting for Farage. No. I'm going to wait till I can vote for Rupert Lowe. Well, you'll be waiting forever. Sometimes you've got to be pragmatic. I don't think Nigel knows everything. I don't think he's right on everything. But I know he's going to be a bit more right in every sense of the word than Starmer. Starmer is driving us to hell in a handcart. And if we don't stop him, we won't be able to rebuild. Look at this thing with the net zero. Somebody today called it Met Zero, as in only the metropolitan elite want it. I don't see how that works. I just don't see it at the moment. When Japan are pushing out all these gases, China, India, America now under Trump, we've got to be realistic. So, I'd like Starmer tomorrow to say, I've listened to what's happened in the election, and I'm getting rid of net zero at the moment, changing the targets. I'm sacking Ed Miliband. Angela Rayner's gone and got a job down at Wakefield Market selling cheap underwear. Which might be above her station, but we'll see. The accountant woman, what's her name? Rachel Thieves. She's gone back to write AI or do AI for people's CVs. Who's the other one? The health minister woman, the bitter face one who looks like Snow White, not Snow White, Cruella de Vil on acid. That's what I'd like to see. And Lammy's gone back to being a race warrior. Wouldn't that be great? But then who are we going to replace him with? I'm telling you, the only person to replace him with at the moment is Nigel Farage. So if you have got a vote tomorrow, please use it wisely. Tracy Gaunt, I heard it's 20,000 that have left since Herr Starmer joined. What's that? Since Herr Starmer took over. Sorry, I now understand. I don't know. Leaving the army, that is. Steve, even John, I'm listening for years. And how about you joining Reform and working with Nigel Farage? As I think the two of you would put the UK right. I've had some experience of working with him. No, thank you. And also, I decided that a long time ago, they wanted me to be a UKIP MEP. I quite fancied that. But I didn't pass the qualifying. I was told I didn't know enough about politics. Okay, fair enough. So what happened was, I didn't do it. And then ever since then, I've decided I want to be the little boy outside chucking bricks into the conservatory or the greenhouse where all the knobs are. And I've been in with the knobs. I told you about going to that party where the 200 most important people in the country were when Murdoch invited me to his Christmas do. I don't want to mix with those people. They make me feel unclean. So I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of any party where I've got to not be able to say something I want to say. That's why, I'm not that fussed about working for a good job, really, because they're not going to give me a job. But I'm not that fussed about getting a job on the mainstream or radio or the media. I've done all that. If somebody came along and offered me loads of cash, I'd probably do it, of course, like anybody. I'm a working class kid, aren't I? But I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing now. Well, sort of. Apart from I'm not earning any money. Where are we then? Let's just finish off. The more we wake up, the brighter the future will be. I don't know what you're on about, Fraser. As the great comedian said, may your God go with you. No, what he said was, and may your God go with you. You're talking about Dave Allen, brilliant. Fraser wants us to stock long life food and plant more food because the shops could be empty in 2 years' time. They've been pretty empty the last few days. You'd think they'd learn about net zero. No, they haven't. I call him Keir-Starmer. Yes, very good. Let's hope Starmer watches your podcast. Yeah, I bet he does. I bet he gets in from work every night, right? Drops his trousers to get comfortable. Don't we all do that? On the settee, puts his trackies on, turns round to what's her name? His wife. And says, what's on the box tonight? Oh, we got YouTube. Great. Let's watch that. Jon Gaunt. He's good for a laugh. Let's hope Starmer watches your podcast and maybe he'll realise how much he's hated and maybe he could listen to your viewers and listeners. Well, if he did, he'd have a much better view of the world. They live in a completely different world to us. Lisa Eddington says, drops his trousers, lol. Yeah, Lisa. I just thought every bloke did that. When you come in from work, I remember seeing Bernard Manning being interviewed in his kitchen once, and he was there in a string vest. I don't do that. And his underpants, his boxer shorts. And I thought, yeah, that's kind of real, isn't it? I don't know. I just want to get comfortable, don't you? And if you're a man, you know what I'm talking about. You need a bit of air around the jewels, don't you? You know what I mean? So that's why I like wearing trackies. And that's like when I get in, I want to be comfortable. I couldn't sit there all night in a suit. Could you? And then you want to talk to your other half, don't you? So he talks to his lady, Mr. Starmer. Lisa, now be careful what you're saying. Steve says, last word from me. He says, in Gaunty, we trust. Well, never trust a politician and don't put your faith in a rock and roll band. Isn't that what Oasis sang? Don't ever think that one person, whether it's me or anyone, is your hero, because we'll always let you down. We've all got faults. We've all got an Achilles heel. So, be careful. Be careful. Judge somebody when you meet them and whenever. Anyway, if you've enjoyed it, I certainly have. I'm loving doing these podcasts. I really am. Feel like my mojo's back. I think it's some of the best broadcasting I've done. I think some of the streams of consciousness are very funny, and the images. In a minute, right, I'll stop and I play it back so that I can see if there's any bits that we want to clip. Although I've got this AI thing now. I don't know who he is. Everyone seems to be called AI. And he messages me and says, AI here, do you want me to do clips? I go, yes, please. I don't know where it's based. So I do a bit of that and I laugh at some of the things I've said. And then I wonder, will I get away with it? Then I think, well, what's the worst that can happen? Go to prison, get arrested, do the figures good, wouldn't it? Do my own figure good as well. Steve says, you've never let me down, John. In all the years I've listened to you, God bless you. Oh, thank you. I'm just a saint. Have a lovely evening, John. Yes, Lisa, I will. Although have you been watching EastEnders recently? Gee whiz. I love that new family. Yeah, the family of Yobbos from Croydon or wherever they're from. But I love the woman in it, don't you? She's one of the best female characters and actresses that EastEnders has had in years and years and years. She murdered I'm trying to remember the plot of that. She murdered her son's girlfriend. I don't know why. But before the family came into it, and now they've had to dig her up, but they had to get a gangster. It's too complex to go into. Suffice to say, she's evil personified. Fantastic. And I hope she doesn't get a comeuppance. Sorry, I'm going off on, but we got a couple of minutes, haven't we? When I used to write Emmerdale, they used to always talk about the denouement. And I said, what's the denouement? And it means the kind of climax. I've never experienced this. I didn't want to. No. So, what happens at the end of a story? And they said it's always got to be that the villain gets his comeuppance, right? I said, why do they have to get the comeuppance? Oh, because, you've got to have a morality to the story. I said, no, it's cobblers. Right? This is when I was doing Emmerdale. I said, when people are bad, evil, in real life, they often get away with it forever and ever. And we hate them. And also, women love a baddie, don't they? They love a bad lad. So you can't always neatly finish it with, oh, and then he dies of a heart attack. It's a bit like a kid writing a story and he goes, and then I woke up. Right? So it's been a great little story from a toddler. And then I woke up. That's not an ending. That is not an ending. I used to have rows with Emmerdale. Mind you, the biggest row I had with Emmerdale was when they said we're bringing in a couple. I said, oh, a new family, that's good. No, John. We're bringing in 2 girls. Oh, yeah. What's that then? Be loads of romance with the Sugdens. No, they're lesbians. I said, you what? Yeah, we're bringing in a lesbian couple. This was years ago, right, when it was all about farming and milking and Annie Sugden's, I don't know, varicose veins. I don't know what it was about. But anyway, I said, so how many episodes before they get their cottage burnt down? And there was just this silence around the table. This was before political correctness and wokeness. And it was like, you can't say that, John. I said, well, that's the reality. They said, what do you mean? I said, if a lesbian couple moved, it's different now. And rightly so. I'm not, by the way, when I say these things, I'm not advocating it. I said, in those days, in that, when this is 20 years ago, I was writing it. I said, they'd get the cottage burnt down. They wouldn't want them sorts in the village. And all these London metropolitan idiots who were in charge of the programme thought I was a monster. Anyway, it didn't last much longer. But I wrote the episode where there was a stripper, policewoman. Who was that? That was the leaving do for Amos. Amos? The lamb chops. I was in the toilet one day and this bloke behind me said, all right there, young John, how you doing? And I turned around and I thought, I know you. Right, but I still had it out. So I turned back round again, and then he says, "Don't you recognise me?" And I said, and then I realised it was Amos without the lamb chops on, because I thought they were real. Oh, sorry, I've ruined your fantasy. Anyway, I have been watching long. At least she's not wooden like some of the others, says Lisa. No, she's brilliant. Steve says she is evil, John, but in true EastEnders style, she'll get caught out. Well, that's what I'm saying. She shouldn't. She shouldn't get caught out. A baddie should get away with it. Anthony says gutless. Who's gutless? Lisa says laugh out loud. Thank you, Lisa. Well, that was good. I shouldn't really have done that anecdote about Emmerdale. I apologise about that. You don't want me showbiz stories, do you? You just want hard politics. Anyway, that's me finished. If you've enjoyed it, please tell all your friends. 20 people have pressed the like button. That is just brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. If you want to support me, feel free to go to buymeacoffee.com. You can buy a beer there. Buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate anything from $5 upwards, or give me a super gift now, whatever it's called. I'll have to find out what it's called on here. Or you can become a member of my YouTube channel. That's 99p to be a fan. If you want to be a super fan, I think it's $1.99. Peanuts. Why haven't you signed up already? Or you can just subscribe to it, which means you get all the notifications. But are you telling me you can't afford 99p? £1.99 to be a super fan? You can't afford that for Gaunty? I think you can. Oh, right, that's me done. Now, don't forget, I'm not here tomorrow unless things happen overnight, which they won't. The results won't come through. Am I here tomorrow? Yes, I am here tomorrow, but I'm not here. I'm going home. So I'll be back with my green screen at home. So there is a show tomorrow night. Apologies, 6:30. Friday is, I'm getting ahead of myself. The results might have started to come in by then. If there's anything dramatic, I'll do one. But if not, I'll be back on Monday. But I might do a couple of fillers over the weekend. See how I feel. Steve says, yes, showbiz is great from you, John. All right, thank you very much indeed. Shall I tell you about the time who was that geezer? Bobby somebody. He was there was a program on a drama called Bobby Box. Was his name? I can't remember. I'll tell you about him next time. I'll remember his name. Right, until we meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain, where to meet upon the heath, there with Macbeth. Shakespeare's rubbish. He never rhymes. Anyway, so I'm back on Thursday. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug, and don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.